A report has come out that reveals the Toronto Raptors have made an interesting move, as the name of the game for Masai Ujiri since last trade deadline was increasing flexibility for the roster, and he just made a little tweak that essentially facilitates that. So we'll discuss that, including a crazy update regarding the LA Clippers, as they are currently being sued by an ex-employee. Now, this is a massive lawsuit, lots of stuff being announced and anointed in that situation, but one team that was named, one interesting situation relevant to the Raptors, is the Kawhi Leonard tampering situation that was ongoing while Kawhi Leonard was on the Toronto Raptors. And frankly, I'm hopeful this leads to some sort of compensation, something to the Toronto Raptors, because again, that whole situation was a mess. And as time goes on, more details get revealed about how cooked that whole situation was. So lots of stuff to break down in this video. But before we do, folks, I'm asking for something different today. If you guys are watching the video, you've been tuning into the latest videos, hit that like button on the vids. I did some tests last season. I never asked for them, but it actually helps out the videos a ton. So if you're enjoying the daily news content, the news we're delivering out here in Raptors Digest, make sure to hit that like button on the video. It means the world to me. But let's dive into the news. Let's dive into what's happening, because the first thing we're taking a look at is the Toronto Raptors named in a lawsuit for the LA Clippers. Now, again, we're not here to rehash the whole entire Kawhi Leonard situation. Came to our team, won a championship, went to the LA Clippers. Some shady stuff was going on. It felt like some rumors under the table deals. They were sending Lawrence Frank and LA Clippers executives to all these Toronto Raptors games. It was a lot of weird stuff happening even at the time. We saw stuff that was coming out. But now the LA Clippers are getting sued right now by a former ex-employee, a trainer, and he's dropping some nuggets, some juicy details in regards to some situations relevant to the Raptors. Now, there's a lot of stuff named in this lawsuit. We won't dive into all, just the stuff that's relevant for the Toronto Raptors, but essentially, in the NBA's constitution, no team or organization can directly or indirectly attempt to entice a player to join a new team while under contract with a different team. The Clippers' public displays of desire for Kawhi Leonard to their organization, including Clippers personnel reportedly personally attending 75% of Toronto Raptors games during the 2018-2019 season, tiptoed the line of unconstitutional tampering. Privately, the Clippers' conduct and campaign to lure Kawhi Leonard was leapt well beyond the bounds of the NBA's constitution. And then the lawsuit also named Doc Rivers, coming out and publicly anointing, comparing Kawhi Leonard to Michael Jordan. Obviously, Doc Rivers was the LA Clippers coach at the time. So those were a couple things that were sort of in the mix. And then we also got some details here in regards to the plaintiff. Shelton was hired by the LA Clippers and lured away from his prestigious position at San Diego State to accept a role with the LA Clippers as a strength and conditioning coach. Shelton's hiring with the LA Clippers was the culmination of a multi-year campaign by the LA Clippers to sign Kawhi Leonard in this regard for the NBA's prohibitions on disregard for the NBA's prohibitions on tampering. Now, San Diego State, obviously you're not familiar, is Kawhi Leonard's alma mater, and frankly, Steve Ballmer was there's all these reports about how the Clippers were interested in leaking by different reporters. They were interested in Kawhi Leonard. They wanted to bring him in, and that's not news. And we know, we saw Lawrence Frank courtside at different Toronto Raptors games during that season, and that was just absurd at the moment. And frankly, more and more details are coming out, and they have insider scoops, disgruntled employees that are going to spill the beads in terms of what was going on with this pursuit of Kawhi Leonard here now at this point. And essentially, Chris Haynes has revealed that, in terms of, recent sort of report, that the lawyers for Randy Shelton, the guy who is committing this lawsuit or putting out this lawsuit against LA Clippers, he's willing to talk with the NBA about his knowledge of how the Clippers recruited Kawhi Leonard. Though it is not part of the damages relief sought by Shelton, he'll fully cooperate with the NBA should league investigations consider prosecution and sanctions against the LA Clippers. Now, again, a lot of the stuff in the lawsuit felt like it was public knowledge, or felt like some sort of reporters had come out and revealed some of these details in regards to what the LA Clippers are doing, Steve Ballmer is doing against the Toronto Raptors. But the interesting part of that is how he's going to be out there to help facilitate repercussions and sanctions against the LA Clippers. Because, again, the team that will be rewarded whenever there's tampering, right? Then the Milwaukee Bucks were accused of tampering out there a few seasons ago with the Sacramento Kings, and stuff went on there at that front. I believe it was for Dante DiVincenzo. They ended up giving away a second-round pick to the Sacramento Kings because of all the tampering allegations and stuff that went on. So sanctions are going on, and there's tampering done to a player the magnitude of Kawhi Leonard, a cover-up that was years in the making here now at this point, some draft picks should be sent to the Toronto Raptors. There's precedent for it. There's something, and this is the most egregious example of tanking that we've known about for years here now at this point. So they can get some concrete, hard evidence about Kawhi Leonard's situation tampering. The Raptors should be rewarded with draft compensation. And frankly, the Clippers don't have any draft picks. Their draft picks are going to the to the Oklahoma City Thunder and as well as the Philadelphia 76ers for the next couple of seasons, first round picks. But give us one of those 2031 picks. I don't care. It's going to be an asset. The Clippers don't have their draft picks for years here now at this point. And frankly, they're going to be an abysmal franchise for the back half of this decade. So give us a future pick. I don't care. I want some compensation for this. And I'm not sleeping till it happens. But that is what it is. I don't know. It's an old wound that's getting opened up once again. I'm having hope that we can get something from this LA Clippers team, but we'll see how that all shakes out. But the next thing we're taking a look at in this video is the Raptors making a pretty interesting move, as essentially there was a large debate, large discussions about who will make that final roster spot for the Toronto Raptors to close off this year. Now, everyone wanted Jamison Battle to be on the roster, given how well he played in Summer League, how well he played in preseason, how well he fits the Toronto Raptors roster. But we knew last couple games of preseason, Bruno Fernando would be on the team. He was getting the minutes of a guy that would be in the rotation. You know, the way things were talking, the way things were leading, Bruno Fernando was getting that final roster spot. And that is what ended up being the case. That's what happened with the Toronto Raptors. But now we have some more insight into why he was selected, especially over a Brandon Carlson, over different guys. Because again, the name of the game, I said at the intro, is flexibility for Masai Ujiri. That's how he's been talking, how he's been moving out there in recent months, you know, for this Toronto Raptors team. So Bruno Fernando getting locked in on a full-time contract was interesting, especially cutting a guy in a rookie, Carlson, and stuff like that there. But some new details have been revealed on the situation as the Raptors amended Bruno Fernando's contract before he made the team this week, per a source. His deal was originally supposed to be fully guaranteed if he made the team, but sides agreed to remove the guaranteed date, so he'll be playing on a non-guaranteed deal soon. Fernando's deal, like all deals, would guarantee in full in January. This gives the Raptors more runway to evaluate his fit without locking in the money. Especially with Kelly Olynyk out for Fernando's camp, this could have been a move that was the difference between him making the team or not. So again, the Toronto Raptors are in an interesting position right now because we're not sure how this team's going to shake out. Ugly start to preseason. I think some people are overreacted to how bad that really was. We'll see how the games go. But regardless, we are in a rebuild. We are in an interesting spot. So seeing how Bruno Fernando fits in the future, what other options are available, makes sense for Masai Ujiri going down facilitating, especially where they cut a rookie in Brandon Carlson that could have had an impact on the team moving forward in the future. Now, I like Bruno Fernando. I think he's a good basketball player. He's pretty solid for us out here in moments. But again, it's all about the future for the Toronto Raptors, regardless of how good we are this season. So makes sense Masai Ujiri wants more flexibility in giving him one of those contracts and giving him one of those deals. So again, we'll keep an eye out for all the stuff that ends up shaking out. But Masai Ujiri is definitely setting up some more future, at least room for more future moves, acquisitions for this team, you know, ahead of January, because we have a bloodbath of a schedule for the first 20 games of the season. So if major shakeups are coming, you know, come December, we could then just cut Bruno Fernando's money in terms of just making it easier to facilitate a contract and not be locked into deals. So that all makes sense. We'll see how everything shakes out. But you guys are the best thing as far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Like the video. That's what I was asking for this vid. So like the video. Anyways, I've set it out. Cheers.